Check, check. Welcome in, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being on time. It is Father's Day, so we might have a little bit smaller class, but we'll see who rolls in. Gonna give it a couple more minutes and we'll get started. As usual, put your ticker name in the Zoom chat. Let me know if you're already in it or wanting to get in trade, want some levels, whatever. I'll help you out best I can. But yeah, let's see how many people roll in here, and we'll get started soon here. Appreciate it. All right, y'all, it's 5 minutes after. One more premium ping here quickly, and I'm gonna get started for you guys tonight. Like I said, appreciate you guys being here on time. SPY, yep, always do that. NVIDIA, Disney, definitely. Not sure what username it is, but Disney, are you in Disney or just looking for some levels or want to be in? Let me know in the chat so I can better help you on giving you some price targets or how and where to get in. But yeah, one last little premium ping here. All right. We're not going to wait for anybody. If they want to trickle in later, they can definitely. So welcome in, guys. Yeah, Disney levels, that's all right. We'll just get you some levels. So welcome in, guys. My name is StartedWith. I'm glad you guys are here tonight. Like I said, it's Father's Day weekend, so probably a little bit smaller class tonight, but the show must go on. So we're gonna get started, guys. I'm definitely gonna talk about SPY, intraday trade plan, and also on the daily time frame as well. But a couple things I want to go over, you guys. Um, Obviously, the Middle East conflict, we all know about that's going on. This is not thoughts on whether you think one side is right or wrong. This is just thoughts on the market, how I see it, how I think things are going to go. I'll try and make it short and sweet, but as of now, if it sticks between, directly between Iran and Israel, the markets are slowly going to shake it off, meaning, we may dip a little bit, but dips should be looked to be bought up. Or if we chop and range a little bit, we look for some support bounces and stuff like that. And I think we're slowly, we're in a tricky spot because we're close to all-time highs. If we were kind of, 5 or 10% down, that'd be a little bit different. But we're so close to all-time highs, it makes it tricky just from purely a technical standpoint, and then also the news coming through. So the only thing I see the markets changing with this Middle East conflict, if Iran or one of their proxies, if they bomb a U.S. embassy or a U.S. airbase, I think we still have in Iraq, or something like that, and there's service members that are injured or killed. The markets are going to react sharply to that based on, expecting the U.S.'s response and, just overall uncertainty. But as long as it sticks to Israel and Iran, obviously it's not good what's going on. It's slowly just going to get shaken off because, not that we should forget what's going on in Ukraine and Russia, but as of now, the markets really don't care about that. They're just, they're moving on from it. So that's kind of my thoughts. But there's reports of Israel said they're ready to assassinate the Ayatollah leader, whatever he's called, and the U.S. and the leadership turned that down. So again, if you think that's good or bad, that's not my point. But if something like that were to happen, that could really rattle the markets, I think, because that's a big escalation. Like I said, it doesn't matter, which side you should be on or want to be on, but they take out their leader where you think he's a terrorist or not. That could be a big deal. And as of now, the U.S., if the reports are true, obviously there could be stuff going on in secrecy, but the U.S. said it's not a good idea and recommended on not doing that. So keep an eye out for that. And the point I'm kind of making for this whole thing is some news thing, you guys. A lot of times news happens, and obviously, you're in calls or puts, and they get wrecked, and you say, "What the hell is that?" This is the Twitter page I follow. You guys take a screenshot or write it down or follow him. He's very, very fast on any sort of news, whether it's CPI, PPI stuff, war, conflict, whatever it is, stuff related to the market that's going to move the market. He's very, very quick. Some days when the markets are busy, all his pings are very annoying, so that could annoy you. But if you want to stay on top of the market, you guys give this guy a follow on Twitter. I've just found he's the quickest with the most information that he gives out. So definitely something to watch, especially with the news going on in the Middle East. He's on top of everything. Sometimes just maybe, hey, missiles are flying tweet, but other times it's pretty important breaking stuff. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Just want to point that out to you guys. But definitely, guys, again, you guys are kind of just trickling here late. That was kind of my little spiel. But put some requests in the chat if you guys want them. Again, if you're already in it in profit, you want to know where to sell. Or if you're in it and you're down 10, 15, 20%, you're wondering on a stop loss. Or if you're just seeing a setup and saying, hey, 1K, take a look at this. What do you think? And we'll take a look at it together. But with that, you guys, I'm going to start out. As of now, I think Futures are, I think they're flat. They're pretty flat as of now. Yeah, but I want to go the daily, guys, just to show you some things that I'm seeing here. Why we kind of, trickle down. Obviously, I always say it's kind of funny that news comes in at key resistance levels or key support levels. It's just kind of weird how that shit happens, but I'll take my conspiracy tinfoil hat off for that part. But as of where we are, you guys, obviously news and data leads the way, but strictly from a technical standpoint and a charting standpoint, I'm on the daily, guys. Just some things to point out here is I use RSI only on the daily and weekly for some divergences and trying to see, kind of what's going on under the hood. Are pushes or sell downs strong? Are they backed by volume? Does it make sense? Is there any divergences? And so a couple things I just want to point out is, so if you guys don't know what a divergence is, it's when the stock price of a certain stock is making a higher high, it's making highs, it's moving up, and RSI is either flat or there's a big divergence. So this one is kind of flat, it's kind of falling. This one is selling down, it's making lower lows into here, but RSI is making a higher high. So this is a form of divergence right here on the RSI. This is a form of divergence right here. Again, price is moving up a little bit higher. RSI is saying, no, it's not going higher. And our most recent push up, nice dip here to the daily 200, push up into heavy resistance, this big overhead level here. We can see I shaded it in red for you guys just for quickness of class. And when we pushed up to that, this RSI indicator did not meet or go above because, okay, if price is going up, you want to see RSI moving with it. So price is going up here. What's RSI doing? It's moving with it. And there's a heavy divergence, right here on this last push up. And so we're pushing up to resistance, and obviously war news came out, and then boom, a little bit of a sell down. And so just some things to watch, you guys. Again, I don't use RSI intraday on the 5 or 15 minute, anything like that. But just something to keep an eye on if you guys are ever doing your pre-market scans, which you all should be doing. It, every couple of days or every day, take a peek at your daily charts and kind of say, hey, we're kind of pushing up into resistance here. Price action's getting tighter. We're not making pushes. Let's see where we're at. If it makes sense. But yeah, always be winning 1K, looking to buy some shares long-term port, anything you suggest. Right now, I'm kind of sticking, I'll piggyback on what Tilio and River kind of saying. Right now, people are liking the tech. They're staying with tech. So we can go over it in DMs more directly, but tech, anything in the tech names, QQQ, you can just, I'm not saying it's lazy. I'm not being serious when I say it, but if you don't want to, think about it, you can buy QQQ. That is just all the big tech names, your Apples, your AMDs right here. These are kind of like the big tech names, top 10, Apple, AMD, Amazon, Google. For me, it's a little bit of a mixed bag on tech because we got Apple kind of, their high was 260, and they're down here around 200. But then you got, what was it, Microsoft last week, just making new all-time highs every day this week. So for me, I don't want to be a first-time buyer at 480 because, any sell down, you got to sit through that. So for me, I just look for some charts for some value on some names. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure where everything is at right now, but XLE, if you want to be, kind of trade the war news with crude oil, kind of stuff like that. XLE is not directly related, but it's very closely related. XLE can be a mover if this war thing kicks off. But yeah, let's talk. We'll talk more at the end of class or even in some DMs. Send me a DM and I can definitely give you more of a detailed, some names I might be looking at. But this could be a very long conversation, so I don't spend too much time on it. But appreciate that question. So yeah, you guys, SPY again, just quickly again on the daily chart. Where rejected, why reject? Doesn't make sense. It does make sense to me. So I'm looking for you guys. I'm going to zoom in on a smaller time frame. But again, as of now, we closed under the daily 9 moving average. That is this purple line. We got the 20 underneath us, and we got this big support zone here, kind of this 592 to 594-ish zone, this big pocket of volume, or what I think will be volume support on the way down. As you can see, we get around this kind of, I just drew like a one-line chart here for you guys in the daily, but when we get around that line, we kind of chop around it, and then it kind of gives us, a swing continuation to the downside or the upside once we're over it. So when it bounces, we get continuation moves up. we come down into it, which I suspect this week on any market weakness, I'm kind of expecting to kind of see a little bit of price action like this. Maybe not a sell down, but just as we come into this level here, maybe some consolidation zone into this 192.65. I like that level because again, any dips down, and we're going to start tagging this daily 20 right here, this moving average. And so if those two line up, I definitely, if I'm not already in puts on the way down, I'm not going to start a put position down there on the way down. So I'm going to switch off this chart for now, but I'm going to zoom in on an intraday look to kind of give us a game plan. There's going to be a lot more lines here, but just hang with me, guys. So again, you guys, I know we talked last week, last Monday. So let's see, the pre-market action was here, and I says we push into this red zone here. Don't just blindly take puts, but with caution. And we can see as we pushed up day after day, we slowly made some higher highs, but then we kind of sort of had a rounding top, not a rounding top, but slowly petering out a little bit, stopping a little bit on the pushes up. And what we do, the pushes up kind of stalled, but we kind of back test some support here, this big top zone here. So this was resistance and kind of a scalp zone, no man's land for me, as I like to say, in between here. And as we see, as we back test it, we use that as support, or hopefully you guys did. And you can buy the dip on those moves. You can buy the dip on that consolidation for a bounce up. But when we sell through it, what does it do? It is heavy resistance on the way down. And so that's pretty much my focus this week. I got what I wanted to see out of this move last week. And it says, obviously we got news here on the war news last week, but again, purely from a technical standpoint, buyers are, they're buying the dip down there, on the 590s or whatever, the 585s, and they're selling on the way up. And they're saying, hey, we don't want to be buyers here, 1 or 2%, 3% from all-time highs, whatever it is. I'm not going to say fear, but there's uncertainty because you don't want to buy the top on the breakout. You want to buy when stuff's on sale. And so we're just seeing a little bit of a consolidation, a little bit of a retest, retracement consolidation on the way down. So for me, it's fairly easy. My focus immediately this week is if we open around 598, big thick line here for you guys. Again, like I always say, some of you guys are on your phones, probably hard to see this green line here that I drew for you guys. So you can see when we get over it, the continuation to the upside. Bounces are pain when they hold. When they hold, bounces are pain. Pre-market bounces are pain. We get under it, we see selling pressure. We get under it, huge selling pressure. Obviously, this might have been some news on this move here. But so tomorrow, again, 598. And my tab will probably reflect that unless we gap up or down. But any trickles in over, I want to lean to the call side. Does that make sense to everybody? Because I want to, when we're over support, we should lean on the call side for support bounces. This candle broke through it. That's not a very good example, but you guys get the point. So anything over this level here, I'm on the 30-minute charts. Any break over and we dip into it, the first 15, 30 minutes of the day, I'm looking to buy calls there if I'm not already in puts and profits, selling for puts. I want to play the bounce. I want to see continuation like this hypothetically. Again, like I would say, I'm not getting to 598 and say, hey, let's go to 602. We have so much information from Friday to trade off of if I were to go to a smaller time frame that this makes it easy. When we are just at, we bounce a recent support level, it's so easy for us to just look left and go, okay, where are my targets? You look left where the price stopped, just on Friday. We're not talking a month ago or a year ago. This was just one trading day ago. That makes it very, very easy on us. Again, don't look at 602 or even 601, because what do we have above us if we catch this bounce here hypothetically on calls? This daily 9 is going to open somewhere in here. It's going to move, it's based on a closing price, but it's going to open a little bit different here, but it's going to open somewhere around this, 599. So we push up and we push in this 599 and you guys don't take your trim on your calls and you get back half the profit. You go, what the hell went wrong? The daily moving average. Again, this is not an EMA intraday. This is based on the daily time frame. If I were to go to the daily chart, SPY right now, daily, this moving average is at 598.79. Any opens are bearish trade thesis this week. Any opens under 598, it's easy for me to be bearish on the day, and any continuation if we start breaking some big support levels. So if we kind of trickle in like this, this candle here is moving a little bit in the futures, kind of trickle into this, we push up, like I say, week after week. I know it's a broken record, but breakouts are filling, double tops are set. Take your shorts at 598 because that's just not a random level. That was a support. The support is given up. It is now resistance until it's not. Take your shorts there. Your stop out is small. Your stop out's not way up here, letting it go 90% red. Your stop out is somewhere around here. We can look at some candle body closes. And you take your puts, okay? And you say, where do I sell? Well, easy. Again, all we do, let me go to a smaller time frame here. And if anybody wants swing trade ideas on the setups you give, let me know in the chat. Otherwise, these are just swing trade ideas. Okay, we're in puts. We take our puts. Where do we sell? We're not looking for target down here. That could be a final target. Easy. We see the little cluster here. We see where price is stopping here in this 575.5. That could be a target one. We come down into here. Why do we want to sell puts here on the way down? We look left. Well, that bounced on Friday. That was a cluster zone, bounce zone there on Friday as well. So if we come into there, do you think it's probably going to bounce their first touch? Probably. If we sell through it, that's fine. If you have, several contracts, this is take profit one, that's supposed to be a P. Take profit two down here, and then final target down here. You sell all the way down. Move your stops all the way down. Any questions on SPY, you guys? And the person to ask levels on SPY, levels in here. Take a screenshot if you want. I never delete my levels. I don't have anything to hide from you guys. We're all here to help each other. Take a screenshot if you want. I'll quit moving the mouse. But this is what I'm trading off of every single day. Price respects it. Price comes back. I'm not deleting 590 down here because if we come back to it, I guarantee there's going to be a lot of volume kicking in. We come down to this, maybe a little bit of a demand zone, big zone down here. I'm not deleting 595.43. What do we do when we hit that? Just on Friday. Buyers are kicking in. Buyers are waking up. Never delete the levels on your charts, you guys. Any questions? The chat is quiet. I will go to QQQ, and I'm going to go to your guys' request list. I'll go drink water. All right, zoom out just a little bit here. Let's go to the 1 hour. Same thing. We're trickling in all-time high zone, not quite all-time high, but the all-time high zone there. And so Monday of last week when we opened, I said, watch out for this resistance zone here. This basically 530 to 530.5. Big bounce over it, big push through it on Monday, breakout, retest, continuation move. Sell down, buyers kicking in because resistance is now support. Pre-market, buyers big buy back up. I think we had PPI, CPI one of these days. Sell down. We go to Friday's price action. What do we do? We pushed up to it. You've seen a big move up. You said, oh, we're bullish. We're bullish. You're not zooming on the chart. And I'm not saying someone in here, but somebody in the world says, hey, we're bullish. They took calls at resistance and at the daily 9 moving average, and they got smoked. So be patient, you guys. Always have a trade plan. Always have a trading plan. I see this big move down here. Not gonna lie, I got shaken out of some puts somewhere down here. Big bounce up. Thought we were gonna get a continuation down here. Did not. This is a big buyback up. Was not really looking for that, but it happened. So again, what do I see in the early morning price action? A big push up to the daily 9. A big rejection. We got some data at 7 o'clock. I thought we'd get continuation down on this 15-minute candle. I was wrong, but a big buy back up. And so we set a nice range here on Friday, double topped for a little bit under resistance, and ultimately broke back through and continued upwards. But again, started seeing some news trickling in at resistance support. Funny how that works. What do? We come down into it and battle it out. Buyers give up, sell down into it. So again, never delete your levels. This is going to make it fairly easy for us tomorrow. As long as no crazy news comes out, play the chart, play the technicals. And what does the chart and technical say? For me, this level here, this recent price action here, nice thick line for you. Any opens over this. So this is kind of our middle range. Like down here is kind of lower range, up here is our upper range. So this is what I'm calling kind of a middle zone here. So not super bullish, but not super bearish on this. But we trickle in here, pre-market price action, we dip down, they buy it back up. So if we open anywhere over it, again, same thing with SPY. I'm looking to buy all dips because I'm looking for a dip down, a buyback, and a continuation up move. So a sell down, you take your profit on puts, start seeing some wicks on the bottom, you could get some candle bodies like this and a wick on the bottom and some consolidation. To me, that's a huge red flag of, hey, I shouldn't be looking to short anymore. Support's holding. I'm looking to buy this bounce. Again, I always say every week, you see a down candle, it's like, okay, we're going to go down more. Well, we're coming down in support. Look to buy the bounce on calls and look for a possible push into this upper range here tomorrow. Again, can we go over it? Sure could. We did on Friday. But again, if you're late and Flips or someone or Rivers and calls here and he's like, hey, trim here at 529. Hey guys, I'm all out at 530. Like they put in the tab, I'm all out at 530. You don't look at that and go, hey, I think it's going to go more. Like you're literally buying their sells. When they're in down here at 50, selling at whatever, 100, random number, you're buying their sell at 100 and you want it to go up and then you're going to reject right away and back into the range hypothetically. So if you don't catch this bounce up, you guys, on calls, find an EMA dip. If the EMA is just kind of squiggling like this, find a dip on the price action to buy the dip and get the continuation up, possible continuation up. But again, just look left, you guys. Look at where the candle body closes. Look at where there's giant wicks on the top or bottom and build a trade plan off of that, you guys. Like when you have a trade plan and a proper position size, you guys shouldn't be stressed out on a trade. You shouldn't have palms sweaty. You shouldn't be checking every 30 seconds. I get it if you're in zero TTs, that's different. Stuff moves really quick. But when you guys have a plan, it shouldn't be stressing you out unless you're full port and stuff and you're in, stuff you shouldn't be. But yeah, any opens, and if I'm going too fast, guys, open your mic, stop me or ask questions. You guys have the ability to open your mic. And, but yeah, we can go over that. But anything under this 527.78, you guys, with caution, we can take puts, but with caution, because not too far away, basically $1 away, which is going to pay very nice on some puts. But, this is what worries me to be in puts early tomorrow, because it's not just a one candle sell through on Friday and a buy back up over. It's a consolidation. So for me, there's a lot of volume traded in here that there's still volume parked here. And this isn't a year ago. This is just one day ago. And so any sell into here, take your puts, but with caution, because if you start seeing buybacks up, that may stop you out, and then a hard sell down, you're going to be frustrated. But, puts can pay into this zone here. But to me, this is a little bit of a no zone or consolidation zone. But we can very well sell down $1, and your puts will pay huge. But for me, I would like to see, if you want to be bearish on the day, really a sell through this. And what do we start doing when we get to this lower zone here? Do we start bouncing this zone here? Do we sell under, or do we start, bouncing these wicks here on this level here? So for me, the easier setup on Qs is more of a bounce play. But again, let's just trade the charts, you guys. Let's not get married to it. If we're super weak on the day, take those puts. Man, I lose my voice. Any questions on, let's see. Yeah, for me, always be winning. I do that a little bit for you guys, but mostly for me. So when I trade, I'm on a four. I have 3 charts at the top, and I have my active trade, or I have 2 charts at the top. I have my active trade at the bottom, and I have like level 2 on the bottom on one screen. And so things can get tight, and I'm on the 5 and the 15 on those 2 charts. And so when I'm zooming in, well, let's go to Friday real quick. Oh shit, what the hell's going on? Why did that auto zoom so bad? There we go. 1 second here. Yeah, so when I'm zoomed in on a chart, I mean, it's not that zoomed in, but when I come up to a level, I'm like, hey, okay, I'm in puts here. I know this red zone is resistance. I sold through, right? Yeah, always be when I see this zone here, I say, hey, this is a big ass support where there's multiple touches on the daily, the 1 hour, the 4 hour. I want to be out of puts here, no questions asked. Can it go more? Did it go more? Yeah. But when I catch a move from 530 to 527.78, like $2.25 move, like that pays huge. I think I actually took some of this on Friday. So yeah, when I see a big level here, it helps me not think about the charts and just, I need to back up. It helps me just focus on what's in front of me, not have to think too much just in general. When I see a big level here, I set my sell down here and I start looking for price reaction down there. And I'd start watching, okay, we're starting to chop, we're starting to range a little bit. Sells are not following through. Okay, maybe we're going to start bouncing this level here. So that's just how I do it. Maybe it's dumb, maybe it makes sense, but I don't want to think about a trade. Again, when I'm zoomed in here, I'm like, oh, we're pushing up here to this level here. It's like, well, no, I don't want to take calls here. I colored it red for a reason, or we come down here, I colored it green for a reason down here. That's just how I do it. I've done it when I was trained on Webull. That's just how it helps me. But maybe it's silly to you guys. All right, to your watch list now, iPhone, NVIDIA, let's hit it. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Hopefully that wasn't too long-winded, guys. I know we're already halfway through class, but I'll get to everyone's request. So NVIDIA, guys, a little bit of a range here, $1.40.78. I'm calling that my floor, and 144.63. I know it's not perfect. I'm calling that my ceiling, but just for recent price action, you guys that like to trade NVIDIA, when I say a ceiling, I just mean multiple touches, 1, 2, 3 days in a row last week, not breaking out. So if you guys are, good at charting, and you see on Monday and Wednesday a breakout fail, and then Thursday you see this move up, go, I'm gonna take calls here. That's bad trading. It's greedy. It's being impatient. It's rushing stuff. Like, zoom out, you guys, on a longer time frame chart and look at it. And this is a range. So again, this is our ceiling, and down here's our floor where we're bouncing. So this is actually a good chart. It's a good chart to go over, definitely, because it makes it easy on us on where to find targets, how to play the dip, how to buy the dip. So iPhone 5 that requested this, buy all dips when we start selling. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, but one last look if you want to take a screenshot on some levels here. I'm going to zoom in here to like a 15-minute. So you can see when we start getting to this 141, 141.78, what happens? Big selling pressure. I don't have the volume up here just so I can make you guys' chart as large as possible, but I guarantee that volume is probably kicking in right here. We come into support level. Volume, when we come up to resistance, is probably kicking in. So for me, ranges are great, you guys, especially for day traders, because it takes the guesswork out of, where do I buy the dips? Where do I take puts to the top, or where do I sell my calls at? Like, this is a blessing to us. So for me, iPhone, it's kind of in the middle. Like, this is our upper, this is our middle, and we're kind of in the middle between the upper, or excuse me, we're in the middle of this mid and lower range here. So for me to be bullish, a little bit tricky based on Friday's price action, but this can pay, what is that, like 50 cents? So any holds of this level here, the daily 9, it's going to come in as a dashed line here. The hourly 20 is going to be underneath it. Any push up, if we're pushing up to this pre-market, I do not like calls here at all. If I start seeing rejections, what is the price action I want to see? I want to see this price action right here. When we sell under resistance and we push up, rejection, candle body close under rejection, candle body close under rejection, rejection. Four 15-minute candle closes over. That tells me heavy sellers are parked there, or buyers are weak, or a combination of both. And I'm taking my puts, but I'm not looking for down here. Daily 9 is not too far down below. And so kind of a tricky zone here. And if we break over this pre-market, kind of come into this real quick, let me clear this real quick. We open over this support, come into this zone here, we start bouncing it. We can take our calls here. We should take our calls here. But again, don't look up here. Look to Friday's price action. 143.25 to 143.5 basically was brick wall resistance. So I'll move this down here just for speed of class. It kind of makes it tricky again. So we can take our calls, but again, you catch that 50-cent move up, and to me, 1, 2, whatever candle time frame you're on, double top on the day from yesterday or Friday, excuse me, you got to take your profit, whether this is 12% or 40%. To me, this says take your profit on calls, or at least leave a runner. We break out over, retest Friday's high zone, get a new position on your calls if you're not in already, guys watching this, or you sold 4 right here and you're like, hey, I'll leave a runner. Markets look strong. We break over, 143.5. Fine. Breakout, retest, ride that runner. But don't watch the move here and then take calls here, because we can reject pretty damn hard. As we've seen, morning push, failure, afternoon push, failure. To me, 2 tries during the day on Friday, and a breakout failed. So kind of a tricky spot. If we open under this, puts are slightly easier because we got a little more room down here, but not, you're not out of the woods down here, because we can start seeing some bounces in this little cluster here. Again, morning, usually the most volume, afternoons, usually the most volume on the days. And so this afternoon cluster here, 142 to 141.5, a lot of volume stacked there. So, we kind of trickle in like this, reject the daily 9 in the morning. You want to take your puts, that's fine. You're selling, or you're taking your puts into all this volume here. You might see some bounces, some buybacks into this level here. So just something to watch there on NVIDIA.
Coupons.
They should have handed out some tickets.
Yeah,
Crash
Scoopy.
Miss,
They
open
had
mic, brother.
Scoopy on top of the
Any
car
question?
waving, but
If not, I'll meet you. No big deal, brother.
no, a tow company. It was all sorts of stuff. It was a ton.
3, 2,
Girls.
1. All right, you're muted. Hopefully answers your question on NVIDIA. Let's see. Ish, yeah, I don't trade big tech a whole lot. Like last week, I was heavy trading the Qs because it's just big tech. I didn't want to mess with, when you trade SPY, you kind of got your banks, your XLF sector, and you got your energy sector XLE. So I just wanted a very pinpoint direct ETF to trade. You're all good, brother. I just wanted a pinpoint ETF to trade. It's just all tech heavy, because if tech is selling, I think one day last week tech was selling, but XLE was pushing up because of war news, and so it made SPY chop just a little bit because I'm Qs, but Qs was selling down, XLE was pushing up, and SPY was kind of ranging a little bit more, and QQQ was just a little bit cleaner chart. And that's my plan this week. And as long as that war news is kind of hot and heavy, I'm focusing on QQQ. It's a little more direct. Like I said, I don't want one part of the sector of the S&P 500 pushing, the other selling. I kind of want things all jiving together. So hopefully answers your question. Why did I switch from Webull to Thinkorswim? Active trader, you can set your price. So if I'm in puts up here, say I got in puts at 150 bucks, I want to see what is the value of those puts at this top wick and set my stop. So let's say I bought puts here at 150. I want to know what this value of that contract is right here. I'm going to set my stop above that on Thinkorswim. So if I bought at 150 and say this is a stop out at 140, I would set my stop at 135, because I don't want them to push up here where they stopped and wicked out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a row and get stopped out only to see this move. I want to set my stop above where market makers are trying to trigger you sell. On Thinkorswim, when you put your stop order on, you can see exactly where it is on the chart. Obviously, zero DTEs, your decay is going to move. But if you're in leaps or you're anything with like a month or a week out time, your stop is very apparent on the chart. It literally tells you, okay, if you set a stop at 135, it tells you, okay, 1K, that's right up here, you're safe. Boom. That's reason number 1 on Thinkorswim, why I switched. Reason number 2, chart layers, because if I go to the daily on SPY and I go to the daily, that's not fun. That's kind of a, pardon my language, that's kind of a clusterfuck up there. But I can make a new chart layer and make it clean and do whatever I want. I think that's what it's called, chart layering or drawing layers. That's the main 2 reasons. It sounds maybe silly, but stuff like that just makes trading so much easier when you don't have to think about what you're doing, and you can just have clean charts. So like I have a day trading chart, and I have, obviously you guys seen it. I have many layers, many chart layers on what I want to do, what I want to look at. And so those are the 2 main reasons that are worth a loan to learn Thinkorswim. All right, back to the watch list. I'm sorry, guys. Disney. This thing has been running. Did it pull back? Let's take a look. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's get a game plan. Let's go to 1 hour, kind of see where we're at. Oh, I don't have any recent levels up here. What? That'll make it easy. Or that'll make it fun to trade. We need to zoom out then a little bit. Figure out where we're at up to this 120. Where did we stop out at? Did it make sense? Absolutely. Let's find out. Or excuse me, if it made sense. So I'm going to start a little bit of a range up here. Like zoom it to the left. So just hang with me here. So we're going to call this last week. I know we got this wick up here, but basically this top range here, let's extend this out. See how far back we got to go. Let's go back to January. And we're going to zoom left and just see if that makes sense, because that's how I like to trade, to see if stuff makes sense. So I'll see how far back I got to go. Got to keep going. Hang with me here. This thing's got beaten down a little bit. It's trying to make a comeback. Hope I don't go back too much farther just for speed of class. Well, shit. Let me cheat. Let me see if I can bring this down. I know I'm cheating, but just for speed of class, because I see something. So let's focus on this 118 to 118.7, 119 pocket. So it pushed up here. I'm on the 4-hour chart. I'll zoom in for you guys in a second, but just when we push up, we say, okay, why are we starting to fail here? Because it's some old volume sitting somewhere. So we pushed up, a breakout happened. We got a daily close over it, but ultimately we battled it out on Thursday. We sold down. We pushed up to it Friday, and now Friday is having some trouble. And so again, I know I'm kind of just quickness of the class here. Earnings wick, big volume there. I think I've seen something else here. Yeah. So this is our most recent from going back through November. So November to now, this zone was our high of the range. And so, there's orders that literally can still be sitting here, you guys, that, whether it's a fund or, your grandma that just has one share, they may have it sitting at 118, she didn't get filled at 118 for whatever reason. She's like, you know what, I'm just going to leave this sell order there, let it come back, let Jesus take the wheel. Well, guess what? 6, 8, 9 months later, we came back to 118. That got filled there. And this just tells me, sellers are taking profit. Sellers have had their fund down here since 110, and they're letting buyers, sellers take their turn. And it's just kind of stalling out back to some consolidation down here. So some Disney, what I'm looking at, kind of a nice chart here, because I like to see us push up some old levels, back test some recent ones. So push up to the old levels here, some back test some new ones. Let's go a smaller time frame for you. Are you in? Let's see, you just want some levels. Yep. All right. So definitely here, I would mark this level here, just this price action alone. As we get into this 118 to, again, 118 kind of 7 zone here, I'm picking that because I'm seeing some, when candle body closes there, candle after candle, they come into it, they bounce. That's an area of inflection. It's a swing high, it's a swing low, whatever it is. We sell through that here. We come back up, selling pressure kicks in. We come back to it, selling pressure kicks in. So now we're kind of on the bottom of this supply zone here, the sell zone. Selling pressure kicked in, but ultimately buy back over. And what do we do Friday? The most recent price action, that's all we can ask for is, what did it do recently? Well, they bought it in the pre-market, right at the open, and a push back into it. So again, if you guys know my trading style, this is, pretty cut and dry for me. Any weak pushes, so if we kind of half-ass it, trickle in here, I'm looking to short this all day long. I'm not looking for a breakout really until we kind of break out over this, or maybe over Friday's high. But if we kind of just weak push into this, basically what I mean by weak is I see price action exactly like this from Friday. A 15-minute close over, but no follow through. A push over, really no follow through, no follow through. A sell down, that's a green light for me to get in puts. Double top action, get your puts here, basically under 118. What was I'm not sure how to see your username, I'm sorry. But yeah, basically under 118 on puts for this, because we're going to break the hourly 20. Let me clean this up. This yellow line here, if we push up, it's like that, and we curl under that, we're breaking the hourly 20. I like this chart so much. I'm getting alerts set up, because you know what? When you guys request stuff, when I see stuff I like, I'll take it too. I'm not afraid to take your requests. I got to lean just because where we close, where we're at, we'll see where this opens tomorrow. But any pushes into here, I'm leaning bearish. Any closes under, looks like 117.5 basically. I'm bearish as well. Any holds of that level? So see this 117.5 here? So this was kind of Friday's inflection point. A lot of consolidation here, a little bit indecisiveness on the 30-minute. And when the breakout happened, what did we have? We had continuation up. We sold down. What happened? Buyers kicked in, they brought it back up. So we come back into that level and this level holds. Why do I want to be in calls when Friday's recent support just gave way? So for me, again, very easy trade to be in puts. Your stop loss is something like that, something small. Your profit anywhere down in here. Again, this is not profit zone 1. You look left in that opening candle there. All this price action here can provide a bounce zone on your puts. But hopefully that makes it clear for you. There's not a lot of price action from this recent move up. We basically had, what, Tuesday through Friday. We got our daily 9 coming down into here. So if this holds, yeah, buy the dip. This is a better risk reward play to buy the dip into here. Not to sound mega bearish on it, but if this holds, buy your calls absolutely. 117.5, because what do you want to see? You want to see the hold like this. You want to see continuation like this just from Friday alone. And where do you sell? Make it easy. Get all out as we enter that 118 zone. Very nice chart in Disney. Very, very tradable. Affordable contracts 1 to 2 weeks out for sure. You guys definitely perfect. Bearish on Disney. I don't have to make you feel bad. Love it. All right. Hopefully answer your question. Amir, I think your name. RTX. Yep, I think that's a war stock. It's probably pumping. RTX, right? I believe so. Is this Raytheon or no? I'm not. I can't remember. I don't play them, but the name sounds familiar. It's probably a war stock. So yeah, this is kind of like your oil sector stuff. So again, whether you support the war or not, if you need to make a trade on it, I'm not going to say you have blood on your hands, but if this moves and you want a bullish position, it could be a market hedge, whatever it is. If Apple's selling on war news, this because I think this is a war name. This could be Raytheon along with Limit LMT, I think as well. But again, this is going to move up. But again, if that news, if the conflict kind of dies down, if they come to a truce, an agreement, whatever it is, whether you believe in the agreement, this is probably going to die off quick because this is just a bullish position basically on, whether it's war materials, war making materials, whatever it is. That's the level to watch. I can give you some price or some levels on this for sure. But again, it's a tricky name. I can chart out just based on technicals for you. Might be making all-time highs here. Yeah, probably is. So that's tricky. Just like with Norvin stocks, I don't like stuff on all-time highs, but you requested it. So how would I play this? Are you looking on shares, Amir, or just wanting to play this? Let me know, because if we're, I can kind of make a trade plan for you. I see a few things here that I would do, but for me, I'm a very, very low risk conservative trader. So I want to see a back test of some levels here. Any back test? Any back test these levels here? Basically these inflection points, swing high, push down, resistance here, break over, retest, break over, retest, break over, retest. Basically that's all I want to see on these levels here. So I would just go to a larger time frame. I'm on the 1 hour, just some quick charting for you, but any hold here of kind of that 147. Again, purely from a technical standpoint, if news comes out, I cannot help you on that, but any hold of this or back test this level here, that's a good dip to buy because it's telling me, kind of this, again, this inflection point, this pivot, this, swing high and low here. If we hold this, to me, it says, a big move up. Does it come to here? I don't know. Does it come to here? I don't know. But for me, we hold this, and I think sellers are going to give up at least on the day. We sell through this 147. I think we're going to come in. We're going to just see this price action down into here. But again, don't look for a target down here, something down here. Just Friday's price action alone. If you catch a move down 147 to 144, that's going to pay you very, very nicely. A nice $3 move down there. So hopefully that's some good quick levels for you. It's all-time highs. That makes it tricky to trade. We don't have a lot of volume. We don't have a lot of information here to trade on. Let's see. Crash, you're not in here. I'm skipping your request for now. Don't want to chart it if you're not in here. Let's see. Bearish. Fitness, what do you think? Limit pricey. Yep, find the key level. Huge hammer on the weekly. 200 SMA at 503. Solid resistance. Yeah, let's take a look at it. We're on the topic of war stocks, so no better time like the present. Limit. Ooh, did you mention that? Yeah, daily 200. Damn right. Curling up though. It's hard. It's hard. It's probably going to stay bullish. I don't think it's going to get a ginormous move like this unless, I mean, if Israel like assassinated that dude, I don't know if that's like bullish for the world. Like, oh, it's good, you know, maybe a terrorist was killed, or it's bad, like escalation. So I don't know if that would knife the market or pump this. Honestly, I don't know. So what I'm getting at is I think for me, unless a big tweet or big news drops, let's just try and trade the technicals on this, as you pointed out. I got this charted maybe a couple weeks ago that someone was talking about this, or maybe this is from the days of Russia and Ukraine. I'm not sure, but definitely like what you charted out, brother. Can't ignore the most psychological round number. All big guy 500, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 for sure. So for me, any move pre-market this holds. I think this is a very tradable setup, to be honest with you. But again, you're a good trader, you know, don't chase stuff, have a plan. Obviously the plan, definitely scale out for sure. Definitely scale out here. But if this, I mean, you can't deny this price action is curling. If this move holds in the pre-market and we just hold our, this is an hourly 20, this yellow line, and it's an EMA, I think it's my 9. We hold that, definitely get a move up. I don't know how expensive contracts are going to be. You know, $500 strike contract is probably pretty pricey. But any hold that 495 here, or any cluster of pre-market we see here that holds, definitely can take some calls there. It's going to be expensive again, but again, sell up here for sure. Again, I don't care if that bags at 12% or 120. This all day long, 100% of the time, 10 out of 10 times says sell my calls here, watch for a continuation move, or if we get rejection, take your puts, because you know you're a good trader. Daily 200 overhead. I could probably zoom out to the weekly. Let's do it. We got a little bit of time. Let me see where this is at, unless this is all-time high. I'm not sure on that, but let's see how far back we got to zoom out. Ooh, damn right, we're selling it on that 500 zone. Look at that. Big push up here last year, 2 years ago. Last year, big continuation up. Come down into this cluster here early January this year. Ultimately, earnings, they didn't like the response from that. And we're coming up to that earnings level. So we have filled that gap. Yeah, we pushed up to it. So yeah, all day long, brother. No way I want to be long here on calls. I know you didn't say you want to be, you have a trade plan, but any push up there for sure. And price action gets weak, or looks like they're kind of weak up here, short that all day long, because like it can't be any more obvious where our stop out is. You know, I'm leaving a loose stop up here because I don't know if you or someone else is buying 2 months of time on puts, or you take this Wednesday and it's a 3 days till expiration. So, you know, it's obvious where your stop is if you take your shot on puts up there, because you want a rejection follow through. I know as in the pre-market, you just want to see sell down, and you start tagging these recent price action zone here. Back in this 480, 2 moving averages are going to be stacked somewhere down here, and basically probably range bound. But any break over, breakout retest of a daily 200, or breakout retest at old supply zone, get your calls for continuation up. Good name for it. Definitely. Tristan, Amazon, and then Ish, PLTR. We'll do it. AMZN. I need to look. I think this is kind of sitting. Let me zoom out just a little bit. 4 hour. Back test that level. I know it's the pre-market. It's not fair when they do that to us. We don't get a chance to buy that dip. One second here, building a trade plan for you. Tristan, are you in Amazon or wanting to be in? Again, that kind of just helps me of, hey, take your calls here or trim your calls here. So again, I'm looking at where this candle body stopped here. Does it line up left and right? Lines up with those candle body stops on the top side. Lines up with where it stopped Friday's price action. That wick there on June 4th. Stopped in the after hour session here and that pre-market session there. Does it make sense? Absolutely. Dips are getting bought down here. Does it make sense? Yeah, I think it does. There's like a little more levels there though. Top side breakout. What do we got? I'll zoom in for you just 1 second. And calls it Eva. All right. Does she get time on that, or is that a short expiration? You can type it or unmute your mic, whatever is easier for you, brother. All right. Ooh, I like that. Where did she? Let me see here. Let's go to our Discord real quick. Where's Eva? Oh, there we go. Thank you. June, or excuse me, September. Hey, dog, no shaking. We're in class, brother. Don't be shaking. July 18th. All right. I like that. I'm not sure where she entered. If she entered the top, are you guys in profit or no? Because let's see, if you enter down here, you're still in profit. You entered somewhere up here, you're red from the afternoon. But I like this. I like this for a back test. You guys know how I trade. It's very obvious. We are 30-minute chart here. All right. So, hey, shh. It's not dinner time. I'm seeing a back test of this. This basically is 212, 211, 8 zone here. You can see where kind of selling pressure, or excuse me, buying pressure kicked in to keep it over that. It kind of lines up with this price action here of, you know, this consolidation. They're battling out here. Basically this 212 here, battling it out, pushing up, continuation. Rejection early Friday, candle closed right at it. And what do? We broke over, we see a big move, and what happens? Sellers give up and say, the hell with this, buyers are taking over, big move up. Okay, so we come down into this level here. Give me 1 second, guys. Gotta let the dog out. He's getting a little impatient. All right, sorry about that. Down 7%. Okay, so you entered somewhere probably at the close. Awesome. So definitely, brother. This is for me, leaning bullish thesis for sure. I'm not just saying that because you guys are in this, but some things, not gonna lie, some things to watch out for. So we can see here on this Thursday, what do we see here at kind of this 213 to 213 and a half? No real follow through there. You know, sell down, war news. We push up and they battle out here and we break it on Friday. So that is your first plan of attack. You guys that are in this with Eva, is any curl on price action, that's fine. You know, you're a little bit red now, that's fine too, but you really got to get this break over 212.83 zone for me to see this continuation just like this. So we break over again. Let's just say we break over. That's what we want, because you guys are in this. We want to win together. You know, breakdown retest. If you guys are not in this, any pre-market test and hold this level here, this 212.83. I'm confident that level. I've had that on my charts a long time. This could be a new position on calls. If you guys are not in this, we're on Amazon chart. Want to see a push into this, Tristan, and a push up. And again, you already know what I'm going to say. Friday double top. Friday double top. Again, play the chart, not the percent. I tell anybody this, not just you guys that are on this trade with her, but again, don't wait for an exit from her. I would definitely trim here 100%. Again, I don't care what the gain is. This tells me all day long that is a very convincing, a very strong, a confident rejection on Friday. And what makes you think we're going to break it tomorrow? Can we break it? Absolutely. But for me, if I'm in somewhere, you know, you're down 7%, so you got in somewhere down here. Maybe you bought, I don't know where you bought, somewhere here on Friday, or maybe you bought here, you know, whatever it is, you're down, you're barely down. If we catch this move up, we know how hard it is to swing the market, and you see a double top, you got to at least trim. If you're in 5 of them, take 4 off, or at least 3. We get the breakout, that's fine. Write it, and now we start looking to this price action up here from Wednesday. But again, the worst thing you can do is, you're down 7% or break even. You wake up 15%. I'm just throwing out numbers here: 30, 35, 40, and 40% is not good enough for you. We double top, we come back down, and go, well, shit, I'm back to where I started. Why didn't I sell? Don't be that guy or girl. Like, trade the chart, you guys. It's a very obvious chart what to do, similar to NVIDIA. We know our tops, we know our bottoms, but again, we need that break over here for a continuation up. Any sell down here, I'm not going to say all hope is lost, but you got to see this hold here. Kind of this, we'll just call it Friday's close. I know it's not perfect to the penny, but I'm just going to kind of call this Friday close zone. If we sell down under here, if you're in a starter position, this would be the one and only spot that I would take in average, is at this here. Because if we bounce and you were red down here, you're back green, and it's the same plan on the way up. Hopefully you break that, we break that, hopefully you break that. But if this fails, it just depends, because you mentioned there's July 18th contract. So you got time, but you don't have time to just eat a bunch of red and have a bunch of money tied up. So that's where it's tricky. Something has 4 days of expiration versus a July contract. So larger picture here, you guys that are watching this, I can't tell you to hold if we start breaking these levels, because I don't know the percent gain, because it's a dancing game of, did I break a support? Am I down 3% or am I down 80%, based on where you bought it? So that's tricky. If we start slicing, if you guys want to write these levels down, 211.82, 211 flat, basically 210 flat, like, we give this zone here. I don't care if I'm in calls that have a month of time. We break all this shit and we come down into here. It's like the whole time you're holding red puts on here, or excuse me, red calls. It's like you could have cut for a manageable loss, got into puts, write them all the way down here, again hypothetical, and then you don't even care about those calls that failed 30%, because you're up larger than that on this move on puts here. So my point is, don't just because you think you guys have time, it doesn't matter. You don't have an infinite amount of time. If it breaks the support, whatever it is, find your risk level and say, hey, this setup is just not working. Let me wait for it to reclaim a level here. Because again, the whole time you're holding calls, red, you got, $500, $1,000, $2,000 tied up in calls, your buying power, and someone else zaves or flips alerts Amazon puts. It's like, well, shit, now what do? I'm holding these calls and we're cheering, we're in puts all the way down here. Broke a big support, we're getting war news, we're down to here, and you're still in calls, you're 85% red. So have a trade plan, you guys, or tag Eve, ask her what her stop is, but that's how I see it. It's kind of a middle of a range here, up or lower. Break over this, we're chilling. And I think, as long as no serious war news comes out, I think markets are going to shake it out. I'm looking for a little bit of a push up. I don't know how far we're going to push, but just, it could be a day to find those single ticker names, like Amazon or NVIDIA's, to try and trade that. So hopefully that helps you guys that are in that with EVA. All right, Ish, PLTR, let's do it. Yep, taking profits. Yep, definitely. And if it breaks out that level, brother, like, they call it rolling contract. So again, sorry, coming back to this real quick. If you guys don't know what rolling contract or getting back in, take your profits here. If we break out over another 5-10% of your contracts, that's fine. What do? You get back in. You break out, retest, you get back in a different strike. It can be, they said July 18th, so you're in July 18th, 214s. Roll it. Now you're in July 18th, 215s, 216, 217, and you just roll it. We keep stair stepping up. You sell and you keep rolling out a farther day on those contracts, and you just ride the wave all the way up. PLTR, it's a fun one to trade. Respects levels nicely. Let's go to daily. I don't think we're not at all-time highs, right? This one just was getting its ass kicked for a little bit. Let's check the weekly. Oh yeah, we're all-time highs, huh? This is IPO down here. It's gotta be, that's like 2 years ago. All right, deal with it, that's fine. Ish, do you trade this lot, or someone chime in? Is this all-time highs on PLTR? It might very well be. If it is and you're not in calls yet, Like I always say, don't be late to the party. Can it go more? Absolutely. I'm gonna pretend it's all-time highs, and we're gonna play last week's range because it makes it very easy. As of now, this is resistance, this is red. Okay, this is our top range. So any break over this zone, so again, breakout retest. You know, I'm not just picking a random here on retest. I'm picking last week, not only one day, I'm picking last week's top range up here. So again, we play our breakout retest. It's got to be a level that makes sense. It's not just a random level on the chart here. It's last week's high. It could be last week's low. It could be Friday's low. It could be Friday's high. Find your spots there on PLTR or whatever it is you're trading, and find your breakout retest. So any breakout retest, basically we're at 140. So ride that wave up, but with caution, because again, I think this all-time high. So like literally, you know, it hasn't traded up here or up here or up here. So this is new territory. So with caution, because any push up and they can sweep in with that sell volume, you know, big money, and they can sell it down and kill through this whole zone here on you, on your calls. And so basically any hold over 140, stay bullish, ride the trend with caution. Anything in here 138 to 140-ish. That is your Zoom name, not ish, but ish. This $2 range here, this is kind of no zone for me. This is maybe day trade zone, but I'm not swinging if we're stuck into here. Anything under 138, charts get messy. Any sell under 138, continuation follow through. Continuation follow through on those puts. Get your puts on a break below that. Where do we sell? Easy. You look left, just Friday's price action. Find where the candle buyers are closing. Very obvious one here at 135. All that consolidation there lines up with that too. We sell through 135. Next zone down here, 133. Next zone down there, I'm not looking for a candle. I'm looking for a moving average. Daily 9 is going to creep in somewhere around 132. So again, you guys, nice charts tonight. Fairly easy to trade this. Again, this little bit of a range in this red zone. So if we kind of sell into that, we kind of chop around here, kind of like that. I don't like it really for calls or puts. I like it less for calls, but puts can pay because we rejected that top range. Good question. Would I wait for, man, at least a 15? And I want to see a 15-minute close. So I'm going to draw this really, really bad. I'm warning you already. So because I'm with the mouse here. So, you know, market's open here and a candle body like, and that's a wick to the bottom. Like we're over it, but I would rather see, you know, a little bit continuation on the next candle and then a back test. And like if we sell, if they try and sell through it, what you want to see is if they wick down, they buy up on a 15 like that. To me, again, that's really shitty. Sorry. That's basically like a hammer candle. Like that wick tells me buyers are stepping in really, really hard. Like sellers tried down here and they bought that back up hard. Or if we kind of trickle in here, if we're kind of seeing some consolidation in here, that kind of tells me no one's really winning. So for me, I want to see a move up in volume in a retest, at least a 15 or a 30. You guys might think, and a 30-minute candle is a long time to wait. Markets are open, what do I say, 5.5, 6 hours a day. Like it's okay to wait for a 30-minute candle. But again, it's hard to say how much of a move, because if we see big moves up, this is just a line chart, and we come all the way back down, yeah, we can buy that dip, but it's like, it's how hard do we sell down? What is the news? What is the sentiment? Like, do we come down? You know, did it take us, you know, we say elevator up, stairs down, or is that the opposite? No, stairs up, elevator down. So did it take an hour to move up and it took us 6 minutes to come down? Like to me, that says heavy, heavy selling. So just got to kind of watch the price action, but definitely, you know, to answer your question kind of in a roundabout way, at least a 15-minute candle close over that. I want to see it. But again, don't ignore that sneaky little after hours wick there. So tricky chart, trade it, definitely tradable, but don't force it. You know, there's 1,000 other names you can trade. Everybody likes this name. It's all over Twitter. It's all over, you know, Reddit, whatever, but there could be other names to trade, better names to trade. But again, definitely a tradable chart. I'm not going to lie on that. All right, you guys, a little bit over. If you guys need to dip out, you guys have trickled out just a little bit, you can. I'm going to go over SPY just real quick again, in case someone joined late, but if you guys need to leave, I appreciate you guys being here. Quick recap on SPY, the screen line here, 598. I hope we open near it, slightly over, slightly under. I don't really want, I don't really want a gap up in the middle. It makes it tricky on risk reward because we can play the call side, but we don't have much reward. We have some reward up, but there's heavy resistance up here. If we open here, we start selling down, we can take our puts, but there's not, there's a little bit less reward because it's kind of a 50-50 trade. We're in between, a risk zone here and a reward zone down here. It's kind of a little bit less risk, but if we open at this, that's where our reward gets big and our risk, we form a small risk profile is small. Big reward up here, big reward zone potential to come up here, small risk zone here. So I hope we open at 598. I don't want a huge gap over or under. A little bit of a gap near it is fine. But again, we're day traders. Let's not get married to any sort of what we want or need in the market. Let's just play the chart. Any opens over 598. My trade plan is simple. Excuse me. I'm playing bounces for a push, a possible push to a top range, red zone resistance, 600 level. It can't get any more easy than that. If you're late to the party and you watch a push into 600, do not take your call. Do not start a call position at 600. You're probably going to get smacked down. If we push over, breakout retest with caution, take your calls. Any opens under 598. So any sells under and a retest of 598, I'm in puts all day long with caution because it can break over, but my risk profile is small. My reward potentially to test this bottom range from Friday, that is my reward zone I'm looking for. Again, this is not target number one down here. This is final target down here because it's Friday's low. It's the low of the day. Okay, so we trim, we look left on the way down, on SPY on the way down. With that, you guys, appreciate you all being here. I see you guys, Tristan, Laurel, Fitness, Errol, Dippin, Big Joe, Always Be Winning, Goosty, I think you say it. Thank you guys for sticking around, putting in the time to be a better trader. With that, you guys have a good night. DMs are always open. With that, you guys, I'm in the chat here. Have a good night.